Ponte Unidos, Chicanos, Latinos in los Estados Unidos. Don't care if you're Ricans or even Cubanos. Look at our coaches. We have more in common, don't let them divide. These suckers are vultures. Either we standing together or better be standing aside. Now is the time, don't know about you, but I'm gonna ride. We gotta climb, fight for your Vegas, but where was your pride? Where were the gunners that you got inside? Look how our ancestors came to this country. They tried to be living the American dream. Don't throw it away. They promise you money and catch your aging for the machine. Pick a new team, you flesh socialism, but that is a system that you wanna bring. You need to think, we gotta fight communism, cause it look like we on the brink. Connect all the links, so one party system is taking the power from all of the people. We need to think, when will you listen? These people are evil and won't treat us equal, so what is your plan? Hand in hand, we're standing together, cause it's the one never to do what you can. Please understand, we gotta do better, so walkers remember that we took a stand. Escúchame, 24 es el año, si se puede. Lucha, lucha por la libertad. ¡Órale, vamos!
No les gusta que nos estemos juntando, porque todos los días vamos ganando. No quieren que los latinos anden despertando. Abre los ojos para ver lo que está pasando. No les gusta que nos estemos juntando.
Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back, Latino Free Minds, here in the beautiful state of California. If you live in California, make sure to follow us for some enlightening content. 2026, our next opportunity to move the state in the right direction. Just
Mhm.
you'll hear our thoughts on how we see things and what we can do to improve, California. Other than that, share the show, help us grow. What's up, Danny?
What's up? How's it going?
Good, man. How you been?
Good. Good.
Cool.
Just had a great Christmas.
Yeah,
Had a lot of fun with the family.
yeah,
All the kids had fun. So that's all that, you know, uh, really counts, just being with the family and a special day like Christmas, the
yeah.
birth of Jesus Christ.
Yep. Yeah, that was a good time, and Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope you guys had a good time as well with your families, or whoever you were spending it with. But yeah, like you said, it's always good, right, to spend time with family. Um, yeah, our last episode with Mark, yeah, got a lot of good feedback on that one. That was probably up there. You know what I mean? One of my
Yeah.
faves.
Well, it kind of shows you how people are really interested and intrigued with any talks about, health,
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think, we've talked about it before is, people realize that, our whole thing is manipulation, is that, we've been manipulated, deceived to think that, certain things are healthy and that the government is going to do the right things in making the right choices for our health. And the truth is that, they aren't.
Mm-hmm. No,
So
yeah,
we have to do it for ourselves.
yeah, 100%. And it was I learned a lot, you know what I mean? It was good hearing his stories that he had, and not just for his products, but just in general, for the value that raw milk has for everyone, because like you said, exactly what you said, being manipulated on health also, you know, and that's where a lot of people are waking up to that. Kind of seems like the next phase of the wake up, so to speak. I don't know if I'm putting it that way, but you know what I mean. Like it's another part of the process.
Yeah, you froze up for a little bit, but yeah, the attack is body, mind, and soul, you know?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So we're literally in a war, and the last thing that we think that we're fighting for, we are, and we don't even know it.
Yeah.
So, but isn't it interesting? Um, how far the manipulation goes. It's it's insane. I mean, if you and I, when we were kids, talked about anything or were worried about anything, that was like the last thing that would be in our minds. And, we're just trying to live a regular life, and and we don't even realize that, the government isn't, when they say that they're looking out for us, with food products, FDA and stuff like that.
Hmm.
um w- we're just ingesting things that are really bad for us. That's insane to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah. No, and I think I think that especially during COVID and all that with the FDA, a lot of people. That's where I think COVID woke up a lot of people for a lot of different things, and these health organizations and all that definitely. I think, like you say, right, expose themselves.
yeah, I think, you were kind of talking about, this past year. I mean, we're at the end of the year,
Yeah.
so it's kind of, looking back at, everything that happened in the year and things that we talked about. It's it's really interesting, to look back in retrospect and think about everything that had been happening in the moment,
Hmm.
and to where we're at now to end the year is a lot of validation that happened, and exposure,
Hmm.
to piggyback off of what you said. And people are, starting to see the reality. And one of the things that we were talking about is, what the adjustment is that they're going to be making. And
You froze up on my end. I'm not sure how it's looking, but yeah, no. You know, yeah. Looking back at the year, it is kind of hard on the spot. Um, but it is crazy how quickly time flies. Uh, you know, just knowing that we're gonna be in 2025, and text Danny that we're gonna be in 2025 is just crazy. Um, let's see here. Yo,
What's up, Daniel?
good. Let's see. Try to get Danny back on. But there he is. Yo,
sorry, where did I get left off? I was talking to myself.
hey Christian, I think I hear echo.
Really?
Yeah, you were talking about like how you in retrospect you're thinking about the year and how
Oh
it
yeah.
kind of it's hard to do in the moment or not in the moment, but like to kind of look back at everything. And you were talking about validation,
Oh yeah. There's
exposure, and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, you know, hindsight, is 2020, right? So, we can see clearly, what has happened throughout the year, but a lot obviously happened throughout the year. But I don't know if the part, that I was talking about exposure, and validation got cut off, but
Hmm.
that's huge. Um, the realigning that they have to do over in the left to see, how they're going to get us back into, that circle where they have control over us is really interesting. But, like I was telling you guys, I thought that they were going to move more towards the center,
Hmm.
and it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. And they're getting a ton of backlash. I mean, I was listening to, some of the, um, Sean Combs stuff that's still going on, and uh, it it's it's really opening up a lot of people's eyes.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if you guys see it the same way, but I feel like sometimes we could be stuck in an echo chamber,
Hmm.
and just talking to ourselves and agreeing with everything that we are talking about, because we're like-minded people. But I really do think that a lot of people, we joke around that a lot of red pills were dropped in this administration, and especially 2024. But that's the consensus that I get, is that a lot of people um, are waking up.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. I get that feeling also. Um, and no, it's funny that you say about like the echo chamber and stuff like that, or being biased. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know if you saw anything about the what is the H1B visa thing, where I think Vivek and Elon were kind of recently uh, basically talking about in bringing bringing people from other countries that are like uh, the top of as far as like engineers and stuff like that at the top of those countries and bring them over here. And their
Hmm.
thing is to like to be competitive as a country.
Yeah.
Um, but I did see a lot of big conservative accounts like kind of on both sides. So it was kind of good to see, because it's like they all didn't agree. They don't agree, and um, some people think that we should focus on getting Americans up to that level. You know what I mean? That should be our priority, and not try to bring in more people. But I also understand too you know if you're doing like a merit based thing, but it's just it was interesting to see just that you know all the conservatives weren't just boom on the same page.
Yeah, I think that's when that it's a healthy system. It's um it's kind of crazy because you know when you have everybody agreeing on the same thing, something's wrong. The people, we're like Latino free minds, is that you know we take aside whatever influences are trying to manipulate us out there,
Hmm.
and make up our own mind. And when we do that, depending on how you grew up or what your values are, you're going to have a difference of opinion, right? I
Yep.
mean, you're going to agree on some things, but not everything. And that's actually healthy. What a lot of people want is to be on the same page. Is number one, it's unrealistic, and it's not healthy. People come from different backgrounds, um, you know, geographically different places in the country, um, different cultures. So you can't agree. You're asking for something that's impossible. So when you see, a difference in opinions, it's healthy. And what's even healthier is being able to talk about those, things that you do have in common and things that you don't have in common, and be okay with it and be understanding. That's healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Christian, oh man, now I can't hear you.
How about now?
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
There
There
we
you go.
go. Shoot, man. Putting everything together.
You're in 4K, bro. I
Oh,
feel like I
man.
could touch you.
What happened?
I said you're in 4K. I feel like I can touch you.
Oh, man. The setup is nice. I'll show you guys in a bit.
Oh, okay, cool. Leveling up, leveling up. By the way, we're number 42 according to FeedSpot for best Latino podcast. Eh? I don't know who they are, but fuck it, they put us at 42.
42. The other 41 have Latinx in
Yeah,
front.
I think that's what knocked us down. Yeah. But
We're not left enough, or what? We're supposed to be left, you guys.
yeah, I think so. Man, but I hear I hear an echo. You catching that? Or no, it's just me.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I catch there's an echo. Um but overall for the year, Danny, what's your overall take on the year?
You see the
Okay, I'm gonna
pants,
tell you.
boy?
Nice.
You think I go home because I go home to start a little night?
This one-
You were sleeping or what? You in your PJs?
No, I just ran
Or
over
you
here.
wore
I was,
those? You wore
oh
those to
man,
work?
shoot, dude, if they allowed me to,
I never said you
you
couldn't.
can wear a rainbow dress to work, but you can't wear these beast trousers.
Anywho, hey,
How you guys been?
it was good.
How was Christmas
It was good, man. It was good.
or Kwanzaa, whatever you guys?
Um, Kwanzaa. No, it was good, brother. It was good. Just to you, man. Congrats. Congrats to you. Congrats to
Oh,
Betsy. Uh, you know, real happy for you guys, and that was cool to see. So you had a good weekend.
sure did. Danny said, "You're officially not gay."
Yeah. We gotta see until the rings are on and it's
Yeah,
all said and
yeah.
done.
Don't hold your breath.
It could be it could be all show.
Can be all show. Shit, the best show.
But overall, Danny, what's your take on the year? How how would you how'd you call it? Summarize it in just
Well, I could tell you
overall.
what my favorite part is so far. You hear that echo? Big time. Mic check one. Mic check two. I could still hear it. Hmm. Can you hear it?
I can't hear it.
I could hear a little bit.
No. Okay. Well, I could tell you what my favorite part is. It so there's a lot of posts on social media, not just social media, but just personally. I don't know if you guys encountered this too. Is that a lot of people are getting closer to God. They're getting closer to Jesus. I personally had conversations with people that I thought I would never have conversations with about, spirituality, and getting closer to God. And I've seen a lot of that this past year. Um, even if you go in social media, I think I just saw a thing about, Denzel Washington getting baptized or something like that. And, there's a bunch of other celebrities that are also getting closer to God, specifically, becoming Christians. So I would say that that's my favorite part, aside from politics and everything else that's going on in the world. Um, that's the most beautiful thing. Um, I had a I had a vendor that works with us um, on Thursday yesterday start a conversation with me about when he met me and he started doing business with us. And one of the things that he liked is just the some of the conversations that we had. So you know how we kind of joke around and say talking about sports and stats is cool and shit like that.
Hmm.
Um, well, I expressed that to him and he goes, I don't know why we're even talking about this. He straight up said that. He's like, I don't know why I feel comfortable talking to you about this type of stuff. Talking about God. And I go and I told him about that. And I go, in the past, we probably would have been talking about, the basketball game or football game or whatever. But these are the type of conversations that we should be having right here. It's kind of, I don't know if it's not masculine, to talk about God. I think it kind of seems like that. I don't know if you guys get that vibe. It's like a guy talking to another guy about God and stuff like that. But I think it's healthy, it's good, it's what we should be doing. I don't know at what point in history having conversations about this went away and it turned into just talking about sports. But um, that's my favorite part of 2024.
What about you, Christian? How would you recap the year?
The whole year? Shoot, dude. Well, the fighter series, man. Seeing all those people that got up and fought, hearing their stories, that was pretty tight. You know, we got to we got to host some winners and some losers, but the fight doesn't end. Especially in
Well,
California, it's a
I would say they're
different
still
dynamic.
winners. They did way better than what they were expected to do based on past.
Yeah, but I mean, losing in California is different, than losing somewhere else. You lose in Texas and you're a Republican.
Yeah, what'd you do?
Come on, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think it was a good year. Um, yeah, the Great Awakening. You hear history repeats itself, and it's kind of a Great Awakening. You
Mm-hmm.
know, with all the corrupt and kind of solidifying that the media is just another branch of the media, is just another branch of the government, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, it literally is with what Elon exposed with Twitter and what was it, the New York Times and all kinds of um, oh, and Zuckerberg too. Being told what to do, what information to suppress, the the laptop, Russiagate, and all that stuff. So they literally are part of the government. I mean, they were being paid for them, and they were being told what to do by the government. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop story, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you want to talk about uh, presidential interference? I mean, that's Exhibit A, right?
Mm-hmm.
But hey, what's going on with Elon? I don't know if you guys talked about it right now. But what's going on with my Indian friends? Why is everybody attacking them? What's up with the lads?
Well, we kind of I touched on it a little bit, not crazy detail, but because Danny was talking about how sometimes we could be an echo chamber and all that. But I was telling him that with the H-1B visa programs that Elon and Vivek kind of are advocating for, which is kind of bringing this is how I understand it, the top tier talent from other countries into America so they can work here, and basically it allows us to compete, right? So that's kind of how I took it. But the reason we brought it up was because I was telling Danny that on the conservative side, it doesn't seem like an echo chamber because there's a lot of big accounts that aren't agreeing with each other on the subject. Some are against it, some are for it. So it's basically, you know, that they're talking about engineers, and apparently, I think Vivek said something that, uh, in a sense, uh, American people aren't as talented or motivated, something like that.
You're talking Super Indians. You're telling me they're trying to bring Super Indians over.
Yeah,
No, they're
the
just
the
regular Indians that are better than
Yeah, cause
Americans.
Danny, not no regular Indians. They get these guys gotta be 6'4". They gotta look like Brock Lesnar. They're gonna take my job, like, cause I want it. Yeah, I want that job too. I got it. But they
yeah,
gotta be some Super Indians.
yeah.
Like I
No,
said, Brock Lesnar type.
yeah, I feel the divide is just some people think that we should focus on, and I feel I probably land more on that side. I feel like we should just focus on getting Americans, regardless, white, black, Asian, Mexican, whatever, just Americans to that level instead of relying on other people or importing other people. I get there's a merit based program, and it's not about being completely against immigration. It's just, you know, I think I agree with the people that say we should probably try to get citizens from here, Americans from here, up to that level. That's kind of the quick summary. It's probably more detailed than that, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, if they could do some math problems that I can't, damn it, you got me. You know?
Yeah.
But you got to take it in you got to take in consideration what positions they're looking to improve in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it because one thing that we do have to admit is the work ethic and the education in the United States, it's not what it used to be. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not something that you can just, I mean, you can change it quickly, but for people to become educated, it takes a little bit of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, we're going to change, the curriculum and, popular culture so that people are excited or incentivized to actually work hard. It doesn't happen overnight. It can happen quick, but it's not going to happen overnight, is the point. So if they're talking about bringing over some talent to make a impact like tomorrow, right away, short term,
Mm-hmm.
and depending on those positions that they're thinking about, I could see the logic behind it. But at the same time, other things have to be fixed so that, to your point, Daniel, is that we get, Americans to that level too. Because look, American people are driven, but the focus is in the wrong place. People are focused on becoming, I don't know, freaking athletes and, you know, entertainers or something, that's other than, hardworking everyday, people,
Mm-hmm.
making a living. So we need to get back to making people proud of being a regular American citizen that just goes out there and provides for themselves and for the family and to become successful. Um, so I guess what I'm saying is that I could see both sides. You know what I mean? But if we do bring, we do make the move to bring those programs in and get those people into the United States with those incentives, we got to see the flip side too. We got to see an investment in America's education and get people motivated and incentivized to do well.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, yeah. I agree with that. I think it's um the correct thing is probably like a layered response, kind of like you said. You got to attack it in different. Like you said, if you want to take care of it now, then okay, yeah, you probably would have some, right? But it's not the permanent solution. And I think people, especially people that are conservative and or just anti trusting the government, they've noticed that a lot of the temporary solutions that get put in place end up becoming permanent. And I think
Oh,
that's, people got I think they're justified in having their reservations against that, basically.
yeah. Limits is a good idea. I mean, if you put, a time limit on it or a amount of people, a limit on the amount of people that um, could, qualify for the program, that would be huge. But not an open door for, everybody to come in and take everyday jobs that, like, to Christian's point, is that we don't need people that to come in from a different country that are going to do, the average American's job on a day-to-day basis. Is that, it's got to be something, like I said, where they bring in value at a higher level, you
Mm-hmm.
know and I believe that we do have a lot of people like this in America. So it's got to be fair too. It can be a DEI type of thing, but like at a higher level, you know what I'm saying? Because we know that that doesn't work. So if they're going to compete against, Americans that have that same talent, and skill level, and they beat the American, so be it.
Hmm.
But not be given, different advantages just because, we want to make this program work and stick, a certain demographic into that workforce or that industry.
Yeah.
There,
Yeah. No.
there's definitely got to be um, some regulations that prevent that DEI type of stuff that's already happening here.
Yeah. No. And that's what I was saying. Like, if you're American, doesn't matter what kind of American. You know, if you're American
Mhm.
and you're up for it, and I don't know. I think part of the conversation too is like, when you're talking about, in this case, they're talking about engineers specifically. When I think of an engineer, I think of someone that probably went, more than likely went to college, got their degree, master's, whatever you want to call it, in that field, right? That's kind of what I think of. But I think part of the conversation is what you were saying, Danny, is I feel like there's plenty of people here that can do that job if they're trained correctly.
Mhm.
Because I feel that people that have a degree doesn't necessarily make them better. Some people couldn't afford college. Some people could. That's kind of where you get that breakdown, and you could have a guy that can be probably just as good as the top engineer, but he never went to college. You know what I mean? So I think that's part of the conversation too, is kind of looking at that, and I don't know. I mean, I get it. I get it. You go to college, you dedicated yourself to that, craft or topic, whatever you want to call it. But you know, there's many people that couldn't go that route, and they're just as good. I think
Yeah.
that's just. I don't know if I'm biased because I didn't go to college, and that's kind of how I've been just working. You know what I mean? And doing
Mhm.
everything I can to get up there and be the best that I can be at what I do. Um, so I feel like, yeah, there's got to be people doing other things that didn't go to college either, but they're the damn best at what they do. That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah. I agree with that. Um, I've met a lot of people that have college degrees, and I question myself how they got through college and got their degree. Honestly, and it goes back to what I was talking about is that you know what do these curriculums look like?
Yeah,
Um, what are the standards that they have? Have the standards lowered? I've heard that they have. Um, and just look at we go back to DEI. It's like it's people are getting opportunities at in positions that they're not qualified to hold.
hmm,
Um, and bringing up those standards and making sure that people are receiving that level of education that can compete with other countries level of education is important. So you know and then going back to people that I've met a lot of really smart people that didn't go to college, whatever life circumstances they had to go through. It doesn't mean that they're not smart. Sometimes you know really smart people get bored just sitting down in a classroom, and they want to get to work and you know um, skip all of that.
yeah,
It's okay. It's one of those things where we say that we can have a conversation and we can see both sides of the story. Um, and if we can't have a conversation and acknowledge that, then we can agree to disagree. But everybody deserves a fair chance. People put in. I always go me having a business in my 20s was my college education. I learned a lot by trial and error, hard work, And I think, look, I believe the U.S. is number one in the world. I think a lot of people would agree with that,
Cause
and
I'm alive.
it's because
Shit.
it's because we do have a lot of good people. I don't want to get stuck in this thing where America just sucks. Yeah, a lot of things need to get better and improve, but we are good at many things. We just need to get back on track, and we can be even that much greater, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I'd like them to make it harder to get your license. I want to start there. I see people that are driving around, and I'm like, how'd you get your license? You know, but just to show you where the standards are, they fluctuate in between from getting your license to getting your doctorate degree or whatever. I went to. I think I mentioned this before in one of the earlier episodes. I went to the doctor, just for a checkup, and oh man, it well, first they send in a student doctor, and I felt like I was able to converse more with him and really get some questions answered and stuff, and actual feedback. And when the main doctor, first time ever meeting him, and when I started talking to him, he was just giving me stuff off of the internet. He was
Mm.
sitting on his little stool on his knees. Didn't like that one bit already. And he's telling me, all the stuff that's wrong with me is, just kind of Gen Z type stuff. Oh, it's because you're holding your phone. Oh, it's because, you know. And I wanted serious tests done. I want to see if I'm pre-diabetic, what's my weight, what's going on, you know. None of that. He not forced me, but kind of said, "Oh, well, go take a STD test," and I know my BBG is not cheating on me, so I don't, I didn't think I need to take a STD test, there's other tests I need to be taking, but for him, I was all right, screw it, I'll take it, but I didn't even get the results for that, I might be HIV positive, you never know, that monkey pox shit was going around. I don't know, Daniel was passing it around, shared a drink with him, but, this doctor just, I could have done that, bro. I could have gone on Safari or whatever and just looked it up and said, "Hey, my hands hurt. What is this?" It's exactly what he did, So it's like, come on, man. He didn't mention nothing about my diet. He didn't mention, and it's just kind of gave me a band-aid. Not even, I took a STD test. That's what I said. Hey, my hands hurt, and he said, "Hey, you should take a STD test." I said, shit, dude, I never heard about that one, but. You know, I digress. My hands are all right, but I didn't get any answers. And I'm paying $89, $98 a
A
week
visit. Yeah.
for
Yeah.
my health insurance. Shit, dude, tell me I'm fat, dude. I can take it. But that's the type of stuff. That's the type of health care we have right now. But again, we're not even talking about the health care. We're just talking about the competency, in people.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, you can have your degree. Clearly, that guy did his time. Maybe he's just better at sitting in a chair and reading diagrams and a little bit better at the Pythagorean theorem than I am.
Mm-hmm.
That might be it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I feel. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's because me myself. That's how I feel about myself, right? I feel like that you can throw me in whatever job and I'm gonna figure that shit out. That's just how I'm wired. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah,
and I feel there's a lot of people that are probably wired. I'm not the only one. You know what I mean? Um,
yeah,
I'm sure you two are wired that way too. So I don't know. That's why I feel like overall, I think we can find Americans to kind of get to that level, and it might not take long. It's just giving someone an opportunity, right? We're the land of opportunity. I feel like Americans should get the opportunity first. And again, doesn't matter white, black, Asian, American, everybody. You know, if you're the top person for that, regardless of degree or whatnot, you just get the opportunity and you kill it. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
For some
Uh,
things, right?
But you got to
Because
take
you
the
don't want
as
to
the
give the
company has to take
opportunity.
the company has to take the risk too. And I get that, but it's like, you know, if you don't scared money don't make money. Rest in peace, Robert. What were you gonna say?
We can't give just a guy to do the opportunity to do heart surgery. So it just depends on what kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah. I
that's
mean,
what I was saying. It really.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
got it, Daniel.
Well, I mean, again, I'm confident, bro. You train me for a couple weeks, I might figure it out. But but no, I get what you're saying. To me, they're talking specifically about engineers, like computer engineering. I mean,
Okay.
come on. I think you know.
No, but check this out. I mean, you see a lot of smart people that that have the capabilities, but I think their aspirations and goals and what they want to do is 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 different now. It's how can I explain this? It's like a lot of people that are out there coding and stuff like that. They want, they want to code games. They want to do things like that, and it's like, having to do like serious things, with businesses or creating, innovative machines or technology and stuff like that is not their interest. It's entertainment. It's doing something else.
Mhm.
And I think maybe I could be wrong, but people in other countries, the way that they're brought up and the way that the popular culture is not to go towards those things. It's, just to make a good living, make the economy better, make the country better, um, make their lives better. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
It's like Americans' goals and aspirations are are different. They're leaning more towards entertainment and
Going
um,
viral.
going viral. There you go,
Click.
dude.
Well,
It
Matt says it all the time. Clicks and views.
Yeah, yeah,
That's you know.
and actually accomplishing something that will affect a community. Will affect the country.
Mhm.
That's it's different. And we have to go back to where that is cool. That's what people want to do, you know?
Mhm.
And as we say that, it could also be an echo chamber because when we go on social media, all we see is people wanting, to get to that point, just, like you said, clicks and views. So we could be completely wrong. And there's, a whole entire workforce out there that is aspiring to do something that is going to benefit you know an everyday citizen. I don't know, man. This is it. We could go a bunch of different directions with this. you know
Yeah.
I would just love to see the data that they're looking at and how they're basing these decisions on. That would be super interesting.
A lot of the data I saw people share was basically a lot of these Im- I'm just gonna call it imported engineers. I don't know another way to put it. Um, they get paid cheaper too.
Is that what it is?
So a lot of people are saying maybe that's the angle too, which you know
That makes
you're
sense.
you're treating it as a business decision, not as a you know decision like what do you call it? Uh, like for the country, it's not like a my God, why am I going blank? Um, it's a business decision, not like a decision that is
That's in the
in the
best
best
interest for
interest.
the
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that's kind of what I'm seeing, but that's the whole breakdown on that thing. And like I said, the thing that I kind of thought was cool was like I saw like everybody disagreeing that's on the right. So to me, that kind of was like, all right, cool. Like I'm not just following a bunch of, you know what I mean? You being in a bubble and no, it's like this guy doesn't agree, that guy that, like, you know what I mean? Like it was good to see. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that was cool. But we'll see
No,
what
that's good.
happens. I think people feel too like, yeah, Trump didn't run on giving more of those visas. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's that whole aspect, which is
Hey,
a valid point.
you could be absolutely right. Is that they'll present this idea and Trump is like, no, I don't think so.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
that you could have that too. So, but yeah. Anywho,
Well, it's kind of like, the government banning Cuban cigars, but the president gets a free pack. The president gets, get the not even the president, just Congress gets to get. They're the only ones that get to get Cuban or something along that line. It's we can't talk about the wall and then we're like, all right, but we're gonna import then the legal, and we're gonna make it legal. You
mhm,
know, there's something there.
yeah, no, yeah, yeah. Um, but shit. Back to the year. What a year. Um, the I'll start with you, Danny. Is there like a from the guests that we had? Is there one that kind of sticks out to you the most from this whole year?
hmm, that's a tough one. I think I think they were all great guests. Like Christian said, it just shows the fighting spirit. I don't know, man. I just keep going back to the spiritual side of it. Is that they all had one thing in common, is that they were faith based.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to answer your question. I mean, that's what I liked about all of them, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It might be annoying to always bring it back to that, but I just to me, I just feel like that's huge.
No, it's
When
valid.
people are faith based, um, it just really shows you where um, their intentions are.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, a lot of them said that they felt a calling to do what they were doing, run for the office that they were running for. So I would have to say all of them because of that. To be to be real. Uh,
You, Christian? Anything that from this year kind of?
Oh man, there's so many cool ones, man. Um, I don't know. The ones we got to end with prayer, those were pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think the first one we did was with Matt's boy.
yeah. With Peter Saddington,
that
and then
was
I think
24, or
that might have been like the end of 23. I
yeah.
think. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And then, but no, but I think earlier this year we had Peter Hernandez on it, and I think he
Peter.
did the prayer at the end too. So two
Mm,
Peters, two Peters prayed on
yeah,
LFM. Isn't that funny?
yeah. What a coincidence.
But shout out to Peter Saddington and Peter Hernandez. God bless you both. Um, no, I was kind of just looking at real quick right now while you guys are talking, and I did a quick count. And if I counted right, we we talked with 16 candidates this year. Um, and then as far as because we started that this year, obviously 2024, the election. Um, one of the first episodes we did this year was I called it Think Local because we were talking about the importance of local elections this year, and you know from there forward, it's crazy because we started doing this. Like, yeah, I didn't imagine. I would imagine we'd have some guests here and there, right? But I guess I didn't picture or imagine talking to like actual candidates. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, we talked to 16 of them if I counted right. And then even, starting the fighter series, that was also out of nowhere. And, we had what, 7 of those? Counted 7 this year.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I think that's probably my favorite part of this year. It was kind of starting both of those as part of the podcast. And I don't know. I thought like you said, man, it's hard to pick one. Um, but all those people from Know Your Candidate and the Fighter series, all real good, genuine people, and I think that's what made it pretty cool and uh a good thing to hopefully do going forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was really important in the sense that I think everybody out there was really more focused on the presidential election and Senate and congressional seats and stuff like that. But just getting down to focusing on local candidates was huge. And what was really nice is that we kind of heard other people going in that same direction and focusing on that too.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you. That was, I think that was huge for 2024, and not only 2024, but now that we've had that experience and going through that, moving forward, focusing on local elections, in the years to come is huge, and hopefully, more and more people start talking about that. Um, and what I mean by that is, local elections. So I think that'll be huge. It'd be nice to see, California turn red entirely, not just, certain pockets and stuff like that. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, it'll happen. It'll happen. Shit. But yeah, no, it was a crazy year. Is there any all right, to switch it up, anything that happened this year, news, whatever, that either surprised you or is just to you is like the most memorable thing of this year?
Most memorable. Hmm. I One of the things that really surprised me is that I knew that Trump was going to get attacked, but not at the level that he got attacked in 2025. And the surprising thing was that as he got attacked more, he gained more support. And for me, it's not because it's him that that got attacked and he got more support. What I really liked and I was impressed by is that people weren't fooled by um, the deception.
Mm,
As they did it more, the people were more emboldened to go against them, whatever they were trying to manipulate them in the direction to go into. I think that was huge. I think that speaks louder than anything that happened this year. Is the people's reactions to all of the attacks.
mm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I'm still asking myself if I'm special. If I'm if I'm the one that's thinking wrong. Because what's really surprised me is how many people really like eat all this stuff up. The stuff that gets released from their view and all these other sites. People buy into it. And it's been an awakening that they don't say sorry or they don't apologize or they don't correct themselves when they're wrong. And
You're
they
surprised by
it's
that?
just blatant. What?
You're surprised by that?
Well, it's been, yeah, I am surprised about that. It's in your face, dude. It's and I'm surprised that people still eat it up. Yeah, they're
Mm.
out there. They're your neighbors.
Yeah. No,
I
yeah,
saw a
I get.
Reddit post.
Uh-huh.
I saw a Reddit post where they were talking about one person on Reddit shared a picture of their brain, and they're missing a good portion of their brain, and all these other people started sending pictures of their brain, and they're missing a lot of their brain too. So it's just crazy to think, they're out there, bro. There's people out there without physical brain, and then there's people out there that don't have that subconscious that we were talking about, right? That inner monologue. So they're out. There's a whole bunch of those people, and those are the people that eat up the view, And it's if you look around, you take a step back, and then you're surrounded, brother.
Hmm.
You're surrounded. He walks amongst them, and they're the ones calling shots sometimes.
Yeah.
you know that lady, I don't know, I think it was Congress. She's been MIA for like 6 months, something like that, 3 months or something like that. And when they found her, she was in that dementia home.
Oh, I think a Texas state representative or something.
So
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had Diane Feinstein in fucking front of cameras like that. So she voted
so
the day before she died. So.
well, that's the biggest thing, right? Again, I don't want to beat a dead dog, but the Great Awakening, right? Do we need a president? We did 4 years. We did 4 years without one. Do we need one? Is it just a vacant position now? Or where do we go from here? Or do we pretend again that that didn't happen, that a coup didn't happen, that you know what's
Hmm.
going on? We're still gonna sleep about that or what? Do we need a president?
Well, we haven't. Well, you're right. We haven't had who's you know.
Yeah, I would say yeah,
Yeah.
because look what happened in the last 4 years. We didn't have one, and shit got worse. We didn't
That's
have a
true.
president that protected, the Constitution. That's what we need one for.
Hmm.
So, look, he he pardoned his son, and other people out there are getting convicted for lying on, applications to get a firearm and stuff like that. So, um, we need a president that's going to back up the Constitution and protect our rights straight up. So, yeah, no one was there, but the plane was heading right into a mountain and crashing and burning. So
Yeah.
we don't want that. We just we need someone that's got a full brain to be there and just make sure that the plane's not hitting towards a mountain.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I just for me, just kind of what you said, Danny. Just the whole attacks on Trump and the assassination attempt, like that. That's up there. You know what I mean? As far as things that happened this year, and it's crazy because it's by small head movement, dude. Who the hell knows where where we'd be right now as far as who would have won the election, who would have been the candidates, what would have happened, you know what I mean? Um
Yeah.
so I think that's what makes that like probably the top moment of the year that's like wow, I just can't believe witnessed that, or I wasn't there in person, but how they were showing it all over TV the day it happened. And then obviously just the ass whooping he gave them in November. So, you know, it was a very interesting year. I'll say that when it comes to uh those kind of news stories. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, we from the beginning of the year we said it was going to be crazy, and it turned out to be even crazier than
Yeah, we
we could have
did.
imagined. Not only the assassination attempt, but like you said, how close it was, and just a slight head movement, and it could have been a game changer. And you're right. Right now we're kind of sitting back and waiting to, we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You keep hearing about, things that they're gonna try to do, to prevent him from taking office. But anyways, we could be in a completely different situation right now if they would have been successful with that.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that brings so many questions with, the protection, the lack of protection, how they allowed that to happen. Oh man, they
Well,
just
if you look into the another story from this year with the guy that killed that insurance guy, uh, we knew everything about him in like a day or two. You know,
Mhm.
the shooter that shot Trump. The details that we know about this other guy compared to that guy, it's not even close.
And he got
Yeah.
cremated like a day after, two
Yeah,
days after.
yeah, right away. So it goes to show you the crazy. I don't know. How we
Yeah,
got all
there's
that information right away on one case and in the other it's just been crickets. And to me,
yeah.
one probably should have had answers just as quick as this one did, and you know, still don't even know.
Yeah, I've heard defenses that the reason that got answers on the murder of the CEO is because, the local police department was involved in with the Trump's assassination attempt. It was the FBI, and they keep things a little bit more hush hush, or a lot more hush hush. But anyways, I mean, those are just defenses that they give for, the lack of information that they've been giving out. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, one of the other things that was really big is in towards the middle, well, the beginning of the year and the middle of the year, with all of the inappropriate material in schools, with kids and stuff like that. The drag queen, reading hour, or whatever the hell they called it, and stuff like that. Trans, genders, being able to go into, women's bathrooms and stuff like that, in schools. Um, is crazy. I mean, we could just keep going on and on and on about all the different things that happened this year, but um, you know, I don't hear about it as much anymore.
Mm-mm.
The left is backing away from all of those positions now. It seems like they know it's a losing strategy, so I think that's the reason that they're backing up. In the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, they're regrouping, and how are they going to package it and try to bring it back in our faces again.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, even though all those bad things happened, I love the way that people responded to it.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't just sit back and allow it to happen. They sat back and allowed it to happen in the beginning, but they got to a point where it said, "Hey, that's too much. We need to start backing up." And I think the biggest evidence of that is the overwhelming support that Trump got, winning the popular vote, and um, making it so that it they couldn't contest it. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? It wasn't close enough where they can contest it and said, let's get a recount here, let's get a recount there, and try to fight it. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I think as fucked up as 2024 was, there's a lot of good things that came out of it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people got kind of to your point, got refocused on a lot of things. Um, but yeah, I think you know, for me, going into next year, like I said, continuing, we'll see who we can have on. As far as I know, people are going to start running for 2026 for governor and all that other stuff locally. So, want to continue that fighter series. Continue to meet other people that are putting up the good fight, as we say here. Um, just learning more. You know, there's a lot to learn, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think when we first started talking in the podcast, that was like the biggest thing that we were talking about is learning.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of people profess to have all the correct answers and everything like that, but we don't claim to know all the answers. I mean, we're just Chicanos that grew up in this system that um, I'll admit, I was manipulated by the school system and thinking into a certain thing, a certain way, and putting into a box and thinking that I'm a Democrat just because I'm Hispanic and my I don't we were like not wealthy. We weren't rich. We didn't have money. So, you thought that, because you're a Democrat because you're Hispanic and you're not rich, you're poor. So we're just giving opinions of life experience. And I think it does take life experience to figure out exactly, what your identity is, and not wait for someone to tell you what your identity is. And that's what we're trying to say is just be free, man, is, base it off of what your experience is in life and around you and what your beliefs and morals are, and go off of that. Don't go off of what people tell you should be, and put you into a box. And that's what we're doing here is that, look, we talk about a lot of stuff,
Hmm.
and at the end of the day, if we support Trump, just as an example, and he doesn't do what he says that he's going to do, we're going to hold him accountable. It's not like we're going to, ride or die whether he, says what he said he was going to do. We're going to hold him accountable. We've said it a bunch of times is that before Trump, the left and the right, the Democrats and the Republicans were the same party. It was a uniparty.
Hmm.
We weren't naive to that. And we're going to continue to hold them accountable. If things change, we're going to be fluid, and
Hmm.
we're going to identify what the manipulation is, and talk about it. I think that's the important thing.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I agree, man. So we'll see what happens in 2025. Um, I know Peter wants us to do the associate delegate thing to be involved here in California and kind of see what happens with the GOP leadership here. And that's something that definitely interested in getting involved in and learning that aspect from Peter. Um, and yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot of work to do here in California. Um, you know, we we went in the right direction. I'm feeling optimistic. You know, as always, right? I'm
Hmm.
feeling optimistic about the state. And where we could be going forward. But we can't, obviously you can't let up, right? You can't relax because we saw, okay, cool, we made an improvement. That just means, okay, keep going just as hard, if not harder. And you know
Yeah,
2026 is like I said at the beginning, another opportunity to see how much further we can take it.
yeah,
Here we go again.
But No, man. I think the like I said, the last episode with Mark and talking about raw milk and all that, that was kind of like what do you call it? That was real a real make America healthy conversation that is is important. You know what I mean? Um I didn't I didn't think we'd ever have that conversation out here. You know what I mean? But it was a good one. Like I said, had a lot of good feedback. I think combined that one's got like uh over 1,000 listens. So that was our biggest episode this year. So I think makes sense. It was super informative, you know what I mean? A lot of things to learn there. And I'm looking forward to having more conversations like that in the
Yeah.
next year. But
Well, it kind of shows, people's interest too. Is like, they're real curious about learning about that.
mhm,
Um, America's health is, I mean, you just walk around and you could see, people are not okay. You go to work and, teammates are talking about, this is wrong, that's wrong. In my family, this happened, that happened, and um, we're not healthy. And that's people's focus. Look at all the different industries that offer, supplements, pills, and diet plans, and all of that crap, and none of them freaking work. You can work out. Some people can work out as hard as they want, and you get to a certain age, and it doesn't work. You know, and what is the key factor there? It's the food that we intake that determine how healthy we're going to be. So you could try as hard as you freaking want, but if you don't focus on that, then you're not going to accomplish anything.
mhm,
And that's another, here we go again with optimism, is that, another good thing is that people actually, realize that, like, to the point that you're making right now, the interest in the last episode shows that people really do care about, their health, and they're interested in hearing about those things. That's awesome.
Well, Danny, I hate to break it to you. I don't know. I'm gonna let you in on this little secret, but I don't know if you've heard of Herbalife. Works, buddy. So if you're not offering your workers Herbalife, get it together. Stuff works.
How do you spell that? I'm gonna look it up.
Herbalife.
no, man. Well, you could you could burn fat, not plastic, right? Anywho, well, um, nah, man. Just we'll see what happens next year. This was a good year. A lot of good conversations. Talked to a lot of cool people, a lot of genuine people, and we'll see who we talk to next year. She, she.
Hopefully RFK. Maybe Kanye West.
Yeah, we'll have Kanye when he comes back.
50
Uh,
Cent. Bosa.
you, we'll have Christian do Diddy's first interview.
Shit. In the jail.
Clicks and views, brother. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in today, this year, and we're looking forward to next year, like we've said. And yeah, that's what I got. I don't know. You guys got anything else? Did I miss anything?
Well,
You
I
got
mean,
it.
a lot of things were missed. I mean, there, like we were saying, a lot of things happened, but I mean, we obviously can't, talk about all of it. But no, Hey, it was great, you know, doing the podcast this year. Great experience. Look forward to everything else that we're gonna learn in 2025, and just continue to keep living life and improve every day. That's all we can, try to do. And we know we're not perfect. No one is. But if we strive to, you know, get closer to God, um, I mean, how could that be wrong? You know,
Mm-hmm.
is that's the ultimate goal and achievement that we can hope for. So I'm just glad that we were able to have these conversations and talk to each other and kind of a little bit of therapy for each other, give
Mm-hmm.
give us a little outlet and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Likewise. Cool. All right. You got anything else, Christian? You good?
That's scared, man. It's all good for me.
You're scared, you said?
No, man. It's been a long year. We're gonna hit 100 soon, no?
Yeah. We'll hit 100 if we stay on schedule.
January 6th.
Damn, we'd have to go to what do you call it, double time. Now if we stay on schedule, it would land on January 21st, which is Trump's like first full day as the president.
Mm.
So hey, we'll probably have a show on January 6th. Hey, we'll see what happens. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in. Peace be with you.
Peace be with you.